Hi there everyone. It's been a great year in my garden for the red currant bushes and I've been absolutely overwhelmed with thousands of red currants. So I need to do something with them. Today we're going to make a red currant sorbet. So the first thing I'm going to do is take about 450 to 500 grams of red currants in this case. Pop them in a saucepan with a couple of tablespoons of water, and then I'm just going to bring them up to the boil and let them simmer down for 5 minutes. That's so that I can make a puree out of them. I don't want the pips or any stray stalks or anything in there. So once they've boiled for 5 minutes, I will push the whole mixture through a sieve so that I end up with a nice smooth puree. That's step one of making my sorbet. You can just hear it starting to boil now, and you can just see the water at the bottom bubbling up. So I'm going to pop the lid on, turn the heat down a bit and leave it for 5 minutes. And after just 5 minutes, it's turned into this sort of gloopy soupy mix. So I'm going to push that through a sieve. So I've set my sieve over a glass bowl. It doesn't need to be glass, but you can see what's going on. Pour the whole lot in. And I'm going to use a metal spoon. Just push and mash. And get as much through as I can. And you can see all the seeds and the pulpy bits are being left behind. Also means that any little bits of stalk that I missed or leaves will get trapped in the sieve and won't end up in my lovely sorbet dessert. Smells amazing. Smell the vitamin C. I think I've pushed about as much as I'm going to get through the sieve. The only thing that's left is the skins and the pips. And a couple of berries that got away from me. There we go. Underneath, meanwhile, I've got this gorgeous ruby red liquid, so I can leave that to cool. However, just before I leave it to cool, I'm going to add in a couple of tablespoons of elderflower cordial. Go. The next stage for the red currant sorbet is to make a syrup, and I'm going to do that by adding 140 grams of golden caster sugar to a saucepan and adding 300 mils of water to that. I'm going to just pop it on a low heat first of all, because I just want the sugar to dissolve. I'm not trying to make caramel here, so it's okay to stir the syrup, but I want it to dissolve before I start boiling it. And after just a couple of minutes of gentle heating, you can see the sugar has completely dissolved. I can't feel any grittiness on the bottom of the pan. So now it's time to turn it up and get it boiling. And once I've reached a boil, I need to boil it for 10 minutes. You want to make sure it is actually boiling, that you can see bubbles coming off the bottom, steam coming off the top, that the surface is moving. And as I say, this needs to happen for 10 minutes. So after 10 minutes of boiling, a fair bit of that water will have evaporated away. The liquid that's left has gone a darker golden colour, and this is going to become your syrup. Now be careful, because hot syrup can burn very badly, so don't let your fingers or any other part of your body get anywhere near this hot liquid. So we've got the syrup, and we've also got the puree that we made earlier. And now it's the time to mix them together. This puree is such a fabulous pink colour. The camera doesn't do it justice, but it's an amazing bright magenta pink colour. So I'm going to carefully tip it into my syrup. Obviously that will cool everything down. Get the bits in. I'm going to give that a stir, mix it together, and then I'm going to bring it back to the boil again. And once it's come back to the boil, like this, I'm going to reduce the heat, and we're just going to simmer it for a couple of minutes. So we still want to see some movement on the surface, but not as vigorously boiling as it was before. Okay, it's had 2 minutes now. And that is it as far as the making and cooking is concerned. I'm going to tip it out of the hot saucepan into a glass jug. Just to help it to cool down. And I thought it would be quite cute to try and make little cubic sorbets by putting them in an ice cube tray and then just being able to pop them out when I want them for dessert. And I might even try, when I serve them, building a little tower of cubes of sorbet. We'll see what I'm feeling like when we get to it. So anyway, simply take your jug of sorbet mix and fill up your containers. The recipe says this does enough for 4 small portions. Don't know how many cubes it will make. "14 is the answer. I'll let those cool down a bit, and then I will pop them onto a tray and stick them in the freezer. They need to be frozen for 3 to 4 hours, and then you get this wonderful, zingy, fresh tasting, low fat dessert. And there we are. How pretty is that? A little stack of red currant sorbet. Impressive.